idea can spread like wildfire.
What happens when people believe Uncle Larry more than like a meteorologist?
I think it's a huge problem right now that there's a big distrust in both scientists and the media. And being a scientist in the media, that puts me in a really difficult boat. Believe me, if I could control the weather, if I could manufacture the weather, I'd probably be on Wall Street. I'd be in a relationship, and I'd have so much, more career potential, so to speak. And so there are so many reasons why it's just so bizarre to believe that meteorologists or the government can manipulate the weather. And I think the biggest thing now is that, with people not trusting officials and meteorologists, that puts us in a really dangerous position for the next storm. What happens if I say a hurricane's coming and people don't believe it? What happens if I give warnings and people don't believe it? That's a really dangerous precedent to set. And I think with everything going on these days, we're heading towards a very concerning place.
I'm sure. Matthew, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.
To Phoenix, where a disabled black man who's deaf and has cerebral palsy is now facing charges of felony assault and resisting arrest after he was repeatedly punched and tasered by police officers. The incident is actually caught on both surveillance video and police body cam. We want to warn you, this definitely is upsetting to see. The video actually shows the moment Tyron McAlpin was punched 10 times and tasered 4 times by officers. Those officers say that they were investigating an assault at a nearby Circle K, and McAlpin fit the description of that suspect. They also say they became combative and he tried to run when they approached him. His lawyer says the video shows otherwise. His arrest comes just months after a scathing report by the Department of Justice alleging a series of civil rights violations by that city's police department. Our Alex Stone has all the latest developments. Alex, McAlpin is deaf. He has cerebral palsy. Why is he the one facing criminal charges here?
Well, and you're right, Kara. It is tough to watch that video. You see police come up and they immediately come out and order him down to the ground. He does not do what they say in that instant, and they begin punching him 10 times in the head, tasering him 4 times during this, yelling, "Get your hands behind your back." And his attorney says he didn't know what was going on. Now, police and their union, they're saying, if there is a police car that comes up, that they are in uniform, that you should know what to do. And they say he didn't do it, and that's why he's being charged.
So the department is standing by the officers' actions, saying they had been under immediate attack by someone who was alleged to have committed a crime and that their officers have the right to defend themselves. But this also comes as the Department of Justice has said that the Phoenix Police Department needs federal oversight. So put this into perspective for us, Alex.
Yeah, so the union is the one really coming to protect the officers at this point, saying that he took a fighting stance, that he bit them, that he was coming after them, and that they had to protect themselves in that moment, that they didn't know he was deaf, that they were giving the orders. He was not responding to the orders, and they had to act according to the union, the way that they are trained to do. But the DOJ put out a report earlier this summer saying that Phoenix police, they have a history of excessive force, of racial bias, violating the rights of people with disabilities. His attorney is saying this checks all of those boxes. This is all of that. But again, police are saying they had to respond in the way they're trained to do, that he wasn't reacting and that they had to do it.
Well, we'll definitely follow the investigation along with you. Alex Stone, appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Several new accusers coming forward against Sean Diddy Combs, filing civil lawsuits now, including one man claiming he was assaulted by Combs when he was just 16. Combs has denied any wrongdoing for weeks now. Here's our senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky.
Tonight, disturbing new claims against hip-hop mogul Sean Combs. In new civil lawsuits, he's now accused of sexually assaulting 6 more people, including a man who says he was 16 at the time of the alleged assault.
People have inundated our office with reports of times that they were with reported.
The new civil lawsuits, all filed by anonymous accusers, allege attacks between 1995 and 2021, including at a department store stockroom, inside an event space bathroom, and at Combs' famous white parties in the Hamptons, where a then 16-year-old looking to break into the music industry says Combs took this picture with him in 1998 before things took an unexpected turn for the worst. Combs allegedly demanded that he needed to drop his pants and then molested him, asking, "Don't you want to break into the business?" Lawyers for Combs did not immediately respond, but have previously said he cannot address every meritless allegation in what has become a reckless media circus. Combs now faces at least 18 civil lawsuits alleging sexual assault and has pleaded not guilty to criminal charges, including sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy. The plaintiff's attorneys tell us, David, these are the first of what could be scores of lawsuits alleging abhorrent conduct that they say is shockingly typical of Sean Combs. David?
Aaron Katursky in New York. Thanks, Aaron.
China is holding large-scale military drills around Taiwan to warn against independence. The air and sea drills come 4 days after the self-ruled island celebrated the founding of its government. ABC News foreign correspondent Britt Clennett has the latest for us from Hong Kong.
Hi, Kana. Well, we knew more of these drills were coming following the exercises in May, which were dubbed Joint Sword A. These, dubbed Joint Sword B, they're also very large in scale and basically, again, are a dress rehearsal for what China would need to do to take over the island of Taiwan. China publishing maps indicating that its forces were surrounding the whole island. The drills, which China says are now successfully concluded, involved every branch of the Chinese military. They simulated blockading the island, cutting off the main ports and practicing how to shoot targets on land and sea. Taiwan scrambled fighter jets in response and deployed anti-air and anti-ship missiles too. Taiwanese authorities calling the drills irrational provocations. Now, China, for its part, says they are a warning to those who promote independence. President William Lai, that's the leader of Taiwan, he made a speech during Taiwan's National Day last week saying Taiwan would do everything it needed to resist annexation. That drew criticism from China, which already calls Lai a troublemaker. Now, we heard from the State Department too, saying it's seriously concerned and calling for China to use restraint, at the same time reaffirming the US commitment to a one China policy. That's a key cornerstone of US-China relations, which formally recognizes that there is only one Chinese government.
We begin tonight with the race for president. Just 22 days until the election. Early voting, of course, underway. Millions have already voted. Tonight, Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump both in the must-win state of Pennsylvania. And this evening, the new ABC News poll that shows this is a very close race nationally. Harris 50, Trump 48 among likely voters. But it all, of course, comes down to the key battleground states this election. Kamala Harris in Erie, Pennsylvania at this hour, making her case on the economy, arguing her policies will help middle-class families, reaching out to black voters in particular, a key constituency both campaigns are looking to reach. Former President Trump, after spending the weekend doubling down with his anti-immigrant rhetoric and suggesting he would use the military against his foes, tonight turning to the economy as well. It comes as inflation and interest rates come down, and tonight another record high in the stock market. The Dow closing above 43,000 for the first time ever today. Mary Bruce Lee.